In the midst of rising political tensions, two girls on opposite sides of a never-turning world receive prophecies. They are called to return to the site of where everything happened years ago. No one knows what greets them when they get there, and armed with just a few companions and maybe a pet or two, they traverse across landscapes to find what meets them there. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a book review for The Never Tilting World by Rincha Pecco. As you heard from my brief synopsis of the book, this is a sci-fi fantasy book, sci-fi fantasy story following two girls who are twins who don't know it, but they are called to go to the site of a great, powerful magic. Now, this book I read twice and I loved it both times. This was just so fun for me, and the diversity and the plot was a really, really great point for me. First, I'd like to talk about the diversity in this. There is a disabled character. One of the character's love interests has only one arm, and it is talked about quite a bit. It's talked about pain and dealing with pain and stuff like that. He is not magically healed by the end of the book, so that is always something to look forward to. There's also a female-female romance in this book. It is dual perspective, so one perspective is told from the point of view of one twin and the other one's told from the point of view of the other twin. Now, one twin is assumed straight. We don't know that, but she is in a straight looking relationship, and that one is enemies to lovers, or more hate to love, enemies to lovers kind of thing. And the other twin is in a female-female romance, and she is protecting the princess, and she's almost like a guard kind of thing. I know people like that trope, so I figured I'd mention that. So my personal rating for this book was 4.5 stars. When I say personal rating, I mean my feelings personally on the book, how I connected with it, and what I thought. When I say 4.5, I also mean 4.5 to 5, because this very well could be a 5-star book for me. If people were to mention it to me, I'd say I'd love that book. It was absolutely amazing, and like, please chat about it with me whenever you want. But that is my personal rating, my personal feelings. I also have a quality rating or general rating for this, and that is a 4 to 4.5 stars. To get this rating, I essentially combined my thoughts on the characters, the plot, the writing style, and the world building, because this is a fantasy slash sci-fi, so world building is a crucial part of that, and it is important to note that. So if I ever review any contemporaries or, you know, non-fantasy or sci-fi, I won't be rating the world building, just because that's not necessarily one of the most important aspects. Like I said, the quality rating ranges from a 4 to 4.5. The characters I gave 4.5 stars. I liked how they were really fleshed out, and they almost had their own identities. The twins I did kind of mix up every now and then, but it was just a little tiny bit, and it wasn't anything that distracted me or anything. So but all of the other characters all had their own individual personalities, and when I want to say you could sort them into Hogwarts houses, and I feel like that's a compliment, because that means they have, you know, very individual behavior and predictable behavior. Like, this character would do this in this situation, and if you can think that, if a reader can think that, then that's a good thing. That's what you want. So for plot, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The plot was absolutely impeccable. It was so intriguing and always kept me on my toes. Obviously, you know, a world that never tilts and one side is cloaked in darkness and one in light is always interesting to me, but the traveling aspect of this was also really interesting to me. If you don't like a book where people are traveling for most of it, you probably won't like this one, but I personally absolutely loved it, and it was just fun to kind of get to know the characters before all the action kind of happened. Like, that's what I like. I like to get to know the characters and really get a feel for them, and I really like that. As for the writing, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and that is because some of the writing did confuse me. It was a little bit hard to follow at times, but other than that, I really liked it. I think this is Rincha Pecco's best work, personally. And as for world building, I gave it 4.5 stars. The world building was really, really great. The creatures in here were so imaginative and creative and unlike anything I've ever seen before, which is something I love seeing in fantasy. And you could really feel where the characters were and what they were going through. Like, two of the characters traverse across this desert and you could feel the heat and feel the sand, and you know, when you got world building like that, it's amazing. Some other things I would really like to note are the absolutely adorable romances. Not only the female-female romance, but this is actually a straight romance I can stand behind. I absolutely loved the straight romance in here. I thought they were adorable. There is an only one bed trope. There are so many tropes in here that I would just die for, and I know you guys will too. Another thing that was really well done was the dual perspective. A lot of books, it's hard to do dual perspective right, and I think Rin Chupeco really hit the nail on the head with this one. It was done really well, and both points of view were really intriguing and fun and really, you know, made you want to keep reading. The last thing I'd like to note is just the cover. Like, this is just absolutely a stunning cover, and like you saw in the beginning, this is probably one of my most favorite covers that I own. It's just so stunning and beautiful, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. But I do think, obviously that doesn't go into the rating, but I just wanted to note how pretty the cover was. Okay, so that is going to be it for my little review of the Never Tilting World. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you'll be picking this one up or not. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!